Hi guys, and welcome to this second part of episode number 2 in the Squad Goals Career Mode series. Obviously last time around we couldn't get through the whole of August, and the first match here we're going to face off against Bristol Rovers away from home in the Carabao Cup. As you might imagine, I've decided to have a bit of a shake-up as we're in the cup game here against what you would determine to be lesser opposition. So we're going to see some players here that basically we wouldn't ordinarily look to field. In goal we've got Ollie Brown, Wagnerman left back, and Pardos and Chester are in the middle, with James Bree out on the right hand side. We've got Marcus Tavernier on the left, Holm and Maitland-Niles in the middle, with Mancini playing out on the right hand side, Santoro's playing in the cam position with Brewster up front. So it's a 4-4-1-1 formation, not what we would ordinarily play, but we've opened up out onto the action there, and that's a fantastic ball from Mancini to find Maitland-Niles, and he's just smashed that ball home. Absolutely fantastic team goal there. Managed to pull Bristol Rovers apart, and yeah, I think we got our just desserts there. As the team celebrate there at the corner flag. Bristol Rovers fans not quite so happy. It's a great through ball firstly to Mancini as a lobbed through ball, and then for Mancini just to hit it first time on the through ball to Maitland-Niles, and then Maitland-Niles hits it left footed and scores a fantastic goal for us. Bristol Rovers on the attack here, and we had to call on Ollie Brown there to make a decent save. Moving out into the action here, and Brewster's managed to find some room out in the left hand channel. He knocks it back to Tavernier, who's knocked it inside to Santoro. He's then found Holm, who's found Maitland-Niles in space, and he's found... Whoa! Santoro grass sniped by the Bristol Rovers players there. Nice okay, not a nice tackle actually. And Bristol Rovers with a free kick here. Throwing it into the box. And they scored an absolutely monstrous header from nearly 18 yards out. In fact, probably further than 18 yards out. Can't really defend against this sort of stuff. They've just thrown it into the box, and 20 yards out basically they've scored an absolutely monster header. Got ahead of Ampadu and looped it over the keeper there, Ollie Brown. So it was a 1-1 result there going into full time, and that means that we're going to have to face off against Bristol Rovers in a penalty shootout. If you'd have noted just there as well, we only actually had one shot on target, which was Maitland-Niles' attempt, so I can't really complain at ending up in a penalty shootout against the lower team. Just shuffling the players around there to try to improve our lineup. And the first penalty here will be Bristol against Ollie Brown, and it's a lovely penalty into the far left-hand corner. Ryan Brewster here, and he's blown it wide. Uphill struggle from here, especially with Bristol Rovers taking penalties like that. And the second penalty save. That's 2-0 down now in this shootout. Some work to do. As Bristol Rovers hit the post, Andre Dozzell steps up. Can he change our fortunes? Yes, he can. That's a lovely penalty into the left-hand side from the left-footed centre mid. Ollie Brown goes the wrong way And we're now 3-1 down in the shootout. Maitland-Niles, having scored in opening play, has put his penalty away. And now the responsibility falls on Ollie Brown to make a save. Payne, who scored, has stepped up and Ollie Brown saved his attempt. So 3-2, and it's Santoro to save us. And he goes to his right, and it's a great penalty. The keeper went the wrong way. So 3-3. Ollie Brown can't get down to that one. As James Chester steps up, pressure on him to score, which he does. A very similar penalty to the Bristol Rovers one that went before it. Oh, and he didn't look confident, and he's absolutely blazed it wide. So, James Bree, having had a decent game as it was, steps up to win the shootout for us. 5-4 on penalties. Great result. Nicola Mancini getting man of the match there with 8 points overall, and that means that this episode's top players remain the same with Weir on 16. Moving out to a bit of action in terms of the transfer window, and Ben Woodburn is a player that I've had on loan and purchased in the past on my Wolves career modes. I want to just check to see what he's like in play this year on FIFA 19, so I'm going to try and loan him on a short loan from Liverpool, just to get a gauge as to whether I fancy the player going forward, because he is going to cost us about 6 to 8 million. So a loan period will help us to establish whether he's the right man for us. As we've got a loan offer in here for Ollie Brown, played well in that last game, but we do need to get some more game time under his belt, so we will try to negotiate a short-term loan here for the keeper. As we can see, he's now got 71 overall, so he is racking up the rating there and heading towards our frontline keeper, Horn, as we tried to counter with the wage splits that we end up paying less whilst he's out on loan, which we've accepted a 50-50 split in that regard. So we move out to the second game of the episode. We are going to face off against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park.
Thank you, Selhurst Park.
And here's our lineup for the game. So we've got Horn in goal, El Mohammadi at right back, Upamecano in the centre with Bastoni and Henry out on the left side. Pugh, Berge and McGinn line up in the middle with Mancini, man of the match last time round, Weir and Green up front. Great through ball there from John McGinn. He's managed to find Weir, who's cut back inside. So unlucky trying to find McGinn with the ball into the box. Caught out in midfield there, and Bastoni's made a mistake as well. The player shrugged him off, and a fantastic strike there from the edge of the box from the Crystal Palace player. Man in form according to the drops at the start of the game. And you can tell by the way that he struck that ball that he's a player playing with plenty of confidence. So we're 1-0 down here against Crystal Palace, having not really had many efforts on goal so far, but then neither had Crystal Palace, as we see Roy Hodgson congratulating his player there. John McGinn across to Sander Berge. Sander Berge hits it, and I don't think the keeper knew much about that really, and just parries it wide. Heading towards half-time here, and Andre Green's got the ball out on the wing. He stops in his tracks and cuts back, waits for the overlap from Rico Henry, who bursts down the left-hand channel, knocks it in the box, and it's an own goal. Henry will claim it by the looks of it, but it clearly wasn't his goal. He's just put it into the box, an early delivery from the wing, and as Mancini's gone to get his head on it, the defender's got there first and he's just guided it past his own goalkeeper. Made a valiant attempt to stop that goal. As we see the meme there, that just won't die of Roy Hodgson. Nice effort there on goal by Crystal Palace. Just managed to get some space, gets the shot away, but can't get it on target. Crystal Palace here, putting us under more pressure. Managed to get free. It was a nice effort there, but Horn gathered it up. Nice through ball out to Nicola Mancini. Can he deliver a nice ball into the box? He can. Oh, you'd have put your house on Timothy Weah there. Usually he's able to put those efforts on target, but this time it's just drifted wide. El Mohammadi here. Chips it back out. Oh, and the volley attempt there just taken off the toe by the defender, as Timothy Weah now goes close as well. What a through ball there. Amazing through ball from Crystal Palace, and it's stopped in their tracks by Upamecano there, as we get Reiss Nelson on the ball here, using his pace down the wing. He cuts inside, takes the fake shot. Oh, and he's also had an air shot as well. Palace fans not happy with that result. Roy Hodgson shaking our hands there. As we can see, it was kind of one of those games where it was really deserving of a draw. Neither of us had more opportunities than the other really, and 50% possession each. Burge got man of the match with 4 points for the game. Henry with 2 and Upamecano with another 2. That means this episode's top players are Weah with 15, McGinn and Henry with 12, Burge with 11 and Horn with 10. As we move on into the transfer window, 10 hours left on the clock. Not got any special kind of request in terms of looking for players. I'm quite happy with where we've got to with the squad, but we will obviously look at any of the deals that might come our way from other teams in terms of loans and potentially selling some players off. That then obviously might be the catalyst for a change here and there within our own squad. So as we see here, Nicola Mancini, we're going to send him out on loan, and we're just negotiating the fee in which each of us will pay. We've managed to negotiate 55% to 45%. Hours now on the board. Down to 8 hours, and we've got some messages coming in. Brown's been loaned out. Transfer talks as usual are broken down on Schneider, a young player. We had an offer in for Wagnerman. I declined to actually respond to it because I completely forgot, if I'm honest. But I don't think I'd be wanting to let him go anyway, just purely because we need the cover at left back, because all we have is him and then Henry at left back for this period of the season. As we have a quick look at the players in and out from our squad, clearly the big signing on our side is Upamecano, the young centre-back, already starting to show a great presence within the team, and I think he's going to be exceptional going forward. We've got a loan offer in for Riqui Puig, and it's from Torino. I'm going to accept the offer of loaning him out to Torino. I'm going to obviously negotiate. We only want it as a short-term loan, but I just want to get some experience under his belt, purely because we can't get him in the team often enough, and I want to see a bit more progression from the player. He's already at 76 overall, but we know that he can go way into the 80s, and I'm looking forward to playing with him once he gets to that sort of level. Got a transfer offer for Reiss Nelson as well. He's now worth just over 9 million according to his valuation, and we've been offered 10 odd million by Brighton and Hove Albion, which I've rejected because I really want to hold on to the player. There's no point even looking at that kind of offer. As the same here with Rico Henry, the marauding left back. I'm not going to let him go, certainly not for 3.85 million. It would have had to have been a huge amount of money to even partly convince me to let him go. But we've got an offer in here for Ryan Brewster, the striker that we bought from Liverpool at the start of our career mode series. Now, Brewster's not really set things alight. He did go out on loan for a full season and has come back with a 73 overall. Let's have a go at negotiating and see how far we can push things. If there's a decent offer on the table once we've negotiated, then we'll potentially let him go. But I'm not really overly bothered by letting him go, if I'm honest. So we're going to try a £10 million transfer fee with a 8% sell-on clause, and let's see what they come back in terms of negotiation. So they've offered us 7.2 with an 11% sell-on clause. It's nowhere near what we're looking for. There's no point really negotiating any further than that. So we've just moved on from that transfer scenario. As we can see there that Arsenal have now spent 120 million. Coman, Weiser and Gagnon. Pugh's been loaned out. 2 hours left on the transfer window, as we get a transfer offer in for Horn. Benfica offering us £17.4 million. A huge amount of money for a team like ourselves, but there's no way I want to let Horn go at this stage, especially as we've let players or certainly goalkeepers go out on loan recently as well, so that would really leave us a bit short. As we can see, Arsenal have just spent another £50 million in the transfer window on Muller, and that really just brings to a close the transfer window. We are now into September. Deadline day has passed. I think we did a very good piece of business buying in Upamecano from RB Leipzig at 25 million. We've clearly had to let go of a few players along the way, but overall I think we've made some smart moves. Olaf Mattsson here, this is outside of the transfer window now. We're being offered a loan deal with Preston North End. Going to negotiate again as always for a short loan, but he won't go out until the transfer window reopens anyway, so it'll be the latter part of the season that we'll actually see him out on loan, and he'll stay with the squad up until this point. So we've accepted there a 50-50 split, and he'll go out on loan once the transfer window reopens. As we move out to a bit of training, we've got all the youngsters in the slot, along with Bradarich, the right back that we signed earlier on in the last episode. As we see a loan offer in for Daniel Rossi as well. He's another one that will potentially go out when the transfer window reopens. So we're going to negotiate a short-term loan with Palermo. Just trying to negotiate the fees slightly, but we ended up with a 50-50 split. But he's only on 440 quid a week. It's not as if we're going to be cutting our wage bill dramatically in any respect. As we take a look at the scout reports that we've had come in, Alfie Rose out in Italy, see who he's got for us. And we've got Giuseppe Lombardi, he's not going to make the cut, nor is Stefano Conte. Riccardo Rizzi, no, and then we've got Francesco Rossi, no, so nobody out there. Lewis Fraser, we've already seen Tom Schwartz last month, along with Felix Meyer, but we've kept them on the watch list just to see if they kind of make any improvements, in order that we can maybe get them into our youth squad in the coming months. So the scouting network will end this month, so we've got to make a decision on these three players. Tom Schwartz is either going to be a centre mid or a striker, has an overall of 49 to 63 with a potential between 68 and 88. I think he's a player that we can take a gamble on and just see how he progresses throughout the season. And we're moving on to Felix Meyer. He's a goalkeeper, so I've opted not to take him on, as is Akim Hoffman. We've had far too many goalkeepers throughout that period, so there's no point going any further into goalkeepers. I hope you've enjoyed that episode as we've looked to round out August and also the transfer window. I've had a bit of success in terms of both purchases and selling players off. And if you did enjoy the episode, don't forget to hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel for more FIFA 2019 content.